Hi friends, this is Greg. Today I'll be reviewing the 2024 Samsung S90D, which is a high-end OLED TV from Samsung, sitting below their flagship S95D model. I'll be comparing it to the Hisense H9F LED TV, which I own, which is a reasonably high-end TV from Hisense a few years back. In terms of price, I bought the Hisense H9F 65-inch for about $930 US, and the Samsung S90D 65-inch was as low as $1,400 US at its lowest point this year. In terms of design and build quality, I find the S90D is quite similar to last year's model, the S90C, and very good in this regard. OLED TVs are going to be much thinner than LED TVs in general, and that's definitely the case here. In this clip, the Hisense is on the left, and the Samsung is on the right. In terms of anti-reflection, the S90D has exceptional reflection handling, and definitely edges out the Hisense. So if you're using this TV in a bright room with lots of windows, you should be pretty happy with the reflection handling. Now, in terms of picture quality, the Samsung S90D is one of the best I have ever seen. It delivers perfect blacks and infinite contrast, thanks to its ability to turn off individual pixels. This means no light bleed and makes dark scenes look incredibly detailed and realistic. Colors are super vibrant and saturated, with excellent viewing angles. The S90D is also a very bright TV, and you can have extremely bright highlights without washing out the picture, thanks to perfect blacks. That means bright highlights are really going to pop. If you're somewhat new to OLEDs, you are probably going to be blown away. As you can see in this side-by-side comparison of a dark scene, the Hisense H9F is to the left, and the Samsung S90D is to the right. The difference is absolutely huge, and the OLED completely dominates the competition. The Samsung can also get much more saturated and bright colors as compared to LED TVs and laser projectors. If you want to get the same bright saturated colors by increasing the backlight brightness and color saturation on an LED TV or a laser projector, the whole screen will start to become white and everything gets washed out. So in terms of actual usable brightness, nothing is going to beat an OLED. I also want to compare the 65-inch S90D with the 77-inch S90D. In general, I found the color on the two models to be very similar. Both sizes should be QD OLED panels in the USA. One thing to note is that the 77-inch model has different default factory settings versus the 65-inch. By default, it has color booster enabled. The default color temperature setting is also different. In terms of SDR and HDR brightness, the 77-inch and the 65-inch are pretty close, but the 65-inch is still brighter by a small but noticeable amount. You probably can't tell unless you're looking at them side by side. Also, if you're comparing to a laser TV, the S90D is way brighter. For example, I have the AWOL 3500 Pro laser projector, which is one of the brightest laser projectors on the market today. And I can safely say the S90D looks to be 3 times as bright in a dark room. No surprise. However, in order to enable the highest brightness, you should make sure you are using the BT2020 color space. So how does the picture quality compare between the 65-inch and the 77-inch S90D models? Well, obviously the smaller size TV is going to look sharper because it has a higher pixel per inch. So if you think 65-inch is big enough, then by all means go for that. but for me personally, I like the 77-inch more. At its lowest point this year, the 77-inch was somewhere between $2,200 and $2,000 US, new, depending on who you are buying it from. One thing to note is that there have been reports that Samsung will push firmware updates, which will decrease the brightness of your TV. So if you plan on getting a Samsung TV, it is probably safest that you never connect it to Wi-Fi and you use a streaming stick like a Fire Stick or Roku instead. In summary, I think the 2024 Samsung S90D is one of the best TVs this year. I had the chance to check out other TVs in Best Buy like the G4 and Bravia 9 and S95D, and I can't really say they impressed me. The matte display on the S95D in particular was horribly ugly. If you're looking for a new TV, then I think the S90D is going to be a great option in terms of performance and value. That's it for this review. If you have any comments, please leave them down below. Until next time, peace.